On an IG live chat, Giannis was asked which player he thinks in the NBA is hardest to guard. Giannis took a long time to think about it, then finally said very quickly and almost quietly, James Harden, without any explanation. And obviously, Giannis has taken 2 recent shots at James Harden, the first time taking, as you remember, Kemba Walker over James Harden in the All-Star draft, and then saying, I want somebody that's going to pass the basketball. And then he said after that All-Star game that his team, Giannis's team, was looking to pass the ball to whichever player James Harden was guarding. So, Shannon Sharpe, how do you explain that Giannis suddenly picked James as hardest to guard?
Well, he's trying to play nice now. He's trying to backtrack a little bit, but you said what you said. Skip, I'm surprised he didn't say, well, James Harden is the toughest to guard because he doesn't play defense or pass the ball, so he has all that energy for offense. But I noticed how he didn't backtrack, Skip, when he said James Harden doesn't pass the ball. He didn't backtrack when he said, yeah, we were trying to pass the ball to whomever James Harden was guarding. He ain't saying anything about that. He might be trying to say the beef is over with what he said, but not for James Harden. Skip, these are very, very prideful men. And they pride in, yes, and some players are better on one end than the other. But when you take a swipe at him, basically you said, you are all offense. You can't do anything else. How do you think that man is going to respond? He made it abundantly clear. He's like, okay, I didn't see the laugh. What was the laugh at? Kemba, me? I'm an MVP. Been in the top 2, 3 voting MVP the last 3 or 4 years. And you tell me, oh, it was a tough decision taking Kemba over me? James made it abundantly clear. He didn't see what the joke, he didn't see the humor in that statement that Giannis had made.
Okay, so remember, James did finally, via Rachel Nichols, fire back at Giannis because he said, I wish I could be 7 feet tall and just dunk. That takes no skill at all. And it seems like once James fired back at Giannis, that Giannis sort of folded his tent and went home. And when I watched this, the clip of this IG Live, and he finally said, James Harden is the hardest to guard, it felt like he was wimping out. It felt like he was backing off. It felt like he was backing down. And this is what I don't like about Giannis. Now, Shannon, allow me to add some context and perspective here. I do have some sympathy for players who grow up in other countries, this case Greece, and then come to our country to play professional basketball because maybe they never feel quite comfortable with the media. Not that Giannis doesn't speak very good English, because he does, but maybe you don't feel quite that comfortable getting in some kind of a spat with an established star like James Harden. I don't know. Maybe he felt like he needed to back down because he's not from America and he's taking on a player who's almost becoming iconic because he's revolutionizing the way offensive basketball is played. But this is what I don't love about Giannis. You know, I don't love it that he doesn't seem to have that tough guy backbone that when he really gets pushed to the brink, he fights back. He didn't fight back in the Eastern Conference Finals last year against Toronto, and he didn't hold his ground on this one. Your thoughts?
Right. Yeah, well, Skip, here's the thing. Skip, you remember, what was it, the World Classic when Brazil beat Greece? And the guy's like, I got this 40-year-old guy out here kicking this young, you know what. Skip,
he did.
It doesn't matter where you're from. You know what's a slight. You know when you take shots at someone. And how did he think James Harden? Skip, James Harden's an MVP. And you basically took a guy, Kemba's a fine player, but he's not James Harden. And to say James Harden is the hardest to guard. Skip, what to go out on a limb? You're talking about a guy that shoots over 80% from the free throw line. He's shooting about 13 to 15 free throws a night. He has the step back 3 that's unguardable. And you go out on a limb. Don't play nice now.
No, I agree with you. So let's continue up next in the NBA, because let's talk about a Golden State team that could have the first overall pick in the draft and is indicating it has no use for LaMelo Ball. Stay with us. Let's take it home. The Golden State Warriors currently have the worst record in the NBA. But if they do hit the lottery, one report says they are not interested in LaMelo Ball, obviously LeVar's youngest of his three sons. This is from Connor Letourneau over the San Francisco Chronicle, who writes, league sources do not believe the Warriors are high on Ball, not because of the drama surrounding his father, but because he's quite flawed for a top three prospect. Ball's court vision and passing ability are superb, but he has yet to prove he can knock down three-pointers consistently, defend NBA athletes, or improve his shot selection. Then the final point made here by the San Francisco Chronicle is they already have a pretty good point guard in Steph Curry. In fact, an all-time great point guard in Steph, so they don't really need the point guard that LaMelo would project to be. So, Shannon Sharpe, are you surprised by this report?
I'm not, Skip. Considering that they're low, if you really look at it, they're loaded at guard. Clay's going to come back. Andrew Wiggins is really a guard. So they have three guards. Now, maybe they package that pick and maybe package that with Wiggins and maybe ship that pick somewhere and get someone else. But I don't think they need any more guards. And shot selection, we used to think the shots that Steph was taking was bad shots until they started falling. And now everybody takes logo threes, and they are great shots. Skip, like I said, I haven't really followed the guy's LaMelo's game well enough to really say, well, yeah, he should go number one or where he should go. But I think Steve Kerr has an idea. I think they have an idea of what they how they want to reshape this team moving forward. And it'd be hard pressed for me to see them taking LaMelo Ball with the number one overall pick if they were to get it. Even that aside, because Skip, you remember when LeVar cost. Yeah. Go ahead, Skip.
No, that's all right. Okay, so no, all I've seen are LaMelo clips. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's all I've seen also, Skip. I haven't really watched this game.
Okay. When I do see the clips, I see gifted. I see ambidextrous. I see a pure shot, but he takes bad shots. I see 6 feet 8 inches tall. I see the tallest of the Ball sons. I see somebody who's going to be pretty spectacular, but I know one team who's sitting at the 6th spot right now that would love to have him, and that would be the Knicks in New York. So with LeVar and LaMelo. I wish we had more time because I got a whole lot more to say, but we are done for today. Remember, we're back tomorrow, 10 to noon Eastern here on Fox Sports 1. Please stay tuned for The Herd with my man Colin Cowherd. Please stay safe. And in the end, most important, please stay home.